The Dragon Republic review. Let's go. At the beginning of the story, we get a backstory memory of Daji, Riga, and Jiang. What happened after getting rid of the Catraids. They are getting ready to be bound, and Jiang is already starting to lose it mentally. One thing that's pretty obvious is that both Daji and Jiang are really scared of Riga. Pronunciation on some of these names and villages are not my strongest suite, so bear with me. Daji is thinking about getting rid of Riga and running away with John together. The fear that they have for Riga continues on into their adulthood, even after Riga goes to sleep. They are terrified of Riga, and I just want to make that very clear because I think it's very important in the story continuing on. It's very important since book 1, and it pretty much ends there. We continue with Rin. Rin is in the south, and she summarized that the south looks like Goldenese all over again. It's just everywhere. And she was right about the southern people. They want to fight, they want vengeance. Regular civilians are just ready to fight. Rin sounds very jaded. Rin sounds jaded overall. The Goldenese like environment is not scaring her like it used to. And she's so young. These characters are so young, so it hurts to hear that these young kids are just so used to this horrible environment that they're in. Rin has some support from the Pirate Queen, of course, because Visera can associate with her. So the only option is Rin at the moment. Rin was promised an army, but so far she's been leading small groups until now, where she's leading a larger group into battle. She doesn't have general status thanks to the monkey warlord. It's interesting that she's still listening to him at all. But if she can successfully win this next battle, she will prove that she's ready to lead thousands. I'm a little wary that she's listening and following orders from other people when she just got betrayed. Is she making the same mistakes again? The thing with Rin is that she's very dependent on other people to get what she wants. She can't summon people on her own. So for now, she has to just take orders, which kind of suck, but what can she do? Rin knows that she can't mess up this next battle, but she's worried about the casualties under her command. The same way she didn't want to take responsibility of the site. She doesn't want things to be her fault. But this time it feels different. I didn't like the way she saw these people as numbers in book 2, but knowing that they want to fight, that they're willing to go out in battle, that's enough for me to say, okay, if they want to fight, send them off. Rin and Kitai are together and are eavesdropping on 2 Muganese soldiers. The Muganese have now made the south their home since their island no longer is livable. They were able to take over the south quite quickly because of military training. Rin and Kitai are listening to their conversation, and it brings back a memory of Naja making fun of their language and how they sound like crickets. It's kind of crazy to think that Nasha used to be this huge bully, and he's not like that anymore. Or he never really was this bully. It really was a mask. Kitai has been talking to the Muganese, and he learns that they were forced to come to this new location to protect their families and other promises. So Kitai is able to understand and feel for the Muganese a lot more than other people are. They both feel bad about these young soldiers, and I'm thinking back in the day when they were just young soldiers too. It's also sad to hear them say that they just want to go home. This is what Rin did. She took away so much. I still think it was a childish thing that she did, burning the island. It's time to start their battle, and Rin and Kita have their routine goodbye. It's so sweet. Rin understands that she's fighting for Kitai and their linked lives. It's honestly the best thing. She says that she's stronger by protecting someone. This love for Kitai really brings out her humanity, and it makes me root for her and like her as a character. Rin gets questioned why Kitai is not in the battlefield. But Rin shuts that down quickly, and honestly, she makes a point by saying his mind is so much more important than his sword. While Rin is fighting and charging, she has fire wings behind her like Alton. I am rolling my eyes here. Rin loses her humanity while fighting. She likes the burning, the power she has, and these small moments, there are going to be a lot of those throughout this book. And I think it's really important to point out that she likes it. She likes having this control, this power over people. Rin and Kitai have been training, so she's a lot more capable with her fire. She remembers a story about the creation of the Muganese, and it's very racially motivated. Alton hated the Muganese, with reason, of course. And this story just feels like what the Germans did with the Jewish community, a bunch of outlandish lies. Rin questions, who are the beasts? Are we all beasts? We get a flashback of her and Alton. He taught her how to be a little bit more cruel, or the reality of the life they're in, which is war and just seeing humans as not human. He tells her that you throw spearleaves out into the battlefield to show fear. Reminds me of Viceroy doing the same thing to Rin, how he kept her as a figurehead. I wish we got more of Alton flashbacks in book 2. It would have made her attachment feel more justified. I would have had a better understanding of their connection. Just these simple flashbacks make me feel like, oh, I understand why Rin was so connected. Oh, okay, I get why she's still where she learned this cruelty and why she thinks it's okay, because she learned it from someone she really looked up to. Before they can end this battle, the Muganese capture civilians inside this temple. Rin decides to burn the building down regardless of the innocent people inside. And she makes sure that there are no to very little witnesses to this. This will cause little casualties and bring victory to her and the South. As she is burning the building, she hears the screaming and she says, "Shut up and burn." She just went on this whole inner dialogue about detaching herself from seeing life, but she tends to lie to herself a lot because she obviously struggles to burn the temple down. That's what she does. Rin really lies to herself throughout the series. So regardless of her telling herself these are bugs, I'm going to squish them, she still struggles internally doing the job. Rin reunites with Kitai, and of course, it's adorable. When she thinks about the Muganese, she hates them. They are disgusting creatures in her eyes. The town is liberated. Rin starts to talk about the co-conspirators, the ones who decided to give information plus other things to the Muganese. Rin hates the Muganese, but she hates the people who work with the Muganese more. She also hates people who want to end their life instead of fighting, which is interesting because Rin has wanted to end her life multiple times throughout the whole story. So she's opening her mouth again and saying nonsense per usual. She has a lot of strong opinions of what's going on around her, which is chaos and revenge and taking out that revenge. Kitai is asking for leniency since some didn't have a choice. Personally, I want to be the ones that would never betray my people, my community. But honestly, who wouldn't do this, especially if it involves your family or people you love? You're just trying to protect the people you love. So Kitai really has a point. Rin doesn't have to do anything about these co-conspirators since the villagers are doing it themselves. Although I would have done the same thing as the co-conspirators, I don't blame the villagers for serving their form of justice. I would hate to be caught for it. Honestly, I'll be like, oops, we have to run away now. The villagers are looking at Rin with awe, almost like a superhero. She's becoming a legend. That's what she wanted. She wanted people to know her. While she's talking to the Southerners, I like listening her use her Southern drawl. It's not as authentic as it was before, but it's forming a connection and familiarity. It also shows that they have a leader just like them. Kitai and Rin go off to find survivors, which Kitai is very good at. Since Golden Niece, he notices the details, so he's very good at it. It brings me to tears thinking about the time he was also hiding and seeing the terrors that the Muganese inflicted. My poor Kitai. Rin meets Soji, whom she rescued. Well, he rescued himself since all Rin did was find him. Rin notices that Soji is quite handsome. And I have noticed myself that Rin tends to be a little more influenced towards handsome men. Alton, Visera, Naja, and now Soji. She just lets her guard down a little. I think this is shown a little bit more later on. It's been my theory since like book 2. It's okay, Rin. Totally valid. We find out that Soji is a Senegard alumni, but did not graduate. He dropped out to help his family, and when he tried to go back, he was not accepted because he would most likely drop out again, which was true. He would have dropped out to help the South. He is a true Southern man / patriot. Rin has some respect for him since he passed the exam to get into Senegard and actually attended. I hate that there's some respect to going to Senegard, passing the exams, because it relates to people going to these high Ivy colleges, and just because you go to these colleges means you should get instant recognition, which you should, because these colleges are hard to get into. But that doesn't determine experience, real life experience. So a test really means bananas to me, and I think it shows later on here. Soji also mentions that his family all drowned because of the dam breaking. The dam that Chagan and Quara destroyed because of Alton. Rin instantly comes to their defense and sort of has an automatic reply. Soji knows that it was destroyed by someone. Someone had to do it. He's already showing how smart he is and how he pays attention to detail. Bryn gets asked about why she doesn't just clean out everyone with her fire. Her fire doesn't discriminate, which is her usual answer. And I really like this answer a lot because it's true. And I also want to give her some credit. I think she deserves is because she understands that it's just not humane. It should never happen again. Nothing was fixed when she burned the island. It made things worse / complicated. I also like to credit Kitai for her not going burn them all mentality. Kitai really helps reel her in. Rin still uses opium, but it feels more contained. Kitai doesn't like it and asks not to do it, at least in his presence. It feels like a married couple, so it's cute and kind of sad. Rin goes inside the seal and sees Alton. I don't like Alton. Never have, and I never will. It does feel different this time around, and she has more control over him. It also feels like he's a confidant, a imaginary friend, as I like to call him. He's not the real Alton. I like to make that clear in book 2 and 3. because I think people like, I don't know why, but I think a lot of people like him. I don't like him. I hate him. So I just want a reminder in this review that I hate Alton, and this is not the real Alton. The Alton, this version of Alton understands Rin. It's fine, I guess. Rin doesn't know how to self-regulate, so she needs someone, Alton, to help her with what she's feeling and what she wants, just like an imaginary friend. Soji has been taking some food which no one likes because they thought they were all on the same team. So Kitai hints that Rin should put him into submission, and that's what she does best. Is this a good idea? No. Bullying someone, especially a man, a woman bullying a man tends to backfire, and vice versa. I'm not saying this to be anti-feminist. I'm just saying that when a man's feelings are hurt, that's when they are the most dangerous. It's such a delicate balance. Soju wants nothing to do with Visra. Brain understands this, and she understands and tells him that she made a mistake. Rin does what she does best and burns him when Soji is still not agreeing with Rin. It works, but Rin takes it too far. She is crazy. Not only does she put him into submission, but she also embarrasses him. And that's not smart. That's dumb. She wants to prove that she is the better choice. You need to listen to her. I understand that the tactic that she's doing. I just don't agree with it. Rin wants to keep traveling, and Soji accuses her of stealing food from the south and using the liberated villages. And he's right. She just doesn't care. It's for the greater good. The others want to stay in the mountain. They don't want to move forward. She has to get through the monkey warlord first in order for them to get moving. The monkey warlord has some amazing street cred, so it's not going to be easy. There's a reason why he survived Visera. I really like learning his background. He wasn't born into privilege. He grew up poor and moved up the ranks slowly, but with diligence. He understands power way more than Rin and Kitai will ever understand. Rin, being the fire type, wants to move. She needs things to happen, whether for the good of the people or for her own benefit. So she's going to try to get rid of one of the members of their council to get them to start moving. The monkey warlord is telling her to slow down. You have time to make something out of yourself. Soji should be taking command instead of Rin. I see Soji's qualifications, but is it also because he's a man or experience? Can Rin lead a army? I'm saying no for now because Rin has no loyalty on her side. She has no charisma to back her up, but Soji does. I like to point out that the monkey warlord is taking this one step at a time. Is he on Rin's side? Rin thought he was on her side. They both saw eye to eye in Book 2. Things are not turning out that way now. At this moment, Rin needs a support she doesn't have. The monkey warlord is admired by his people. He stayed in the South. He fought for the South. And he bled for the South. He is a true Southerner. Southerners stick together, and I really like this description of him. Rin left the South, but it's always different for a man versus a woman. This could be a chance for her to prove she is a true Southerner, but we all know that she wanted to belong in Sinigard. She never wanted to go back to the South. Rin and others have a plan to take out someone in the council so they can move forward. She was not the only one wanting to move. Once she does do it, she feels very giddy about it. Is this Rin? Yes. I don't think this is the Phoenix. We go into another council meeting. We learn that the Rooster Providence has been taken over by the Muganese and it's now gone. Rin is pissed because no one told her. No one told her because she's rash, reckless, impulsive, and that's what they tell her. No one told her because she was all of these things. And I'm like, of course you are. You are all these things. And I don't blame the council for not telling her. It's honestly very embarrassing to have everyone know that you're all these things. She has a good plan. And I'm torn between rooting for Rin versus just being annoyed at her. She is part of the council, so she does need to know these things. She has been winning their battles, so she has some credit under her belt. But it's hard because she's so feisty and uncooperative and just not cooperative towards the everyone around her. So for them not to tell her is this huge slap in the face. On the other hand, these councilmen have experience, and the only thing stopping them is that they don't want to share power or they don't want a little girl in their presence. But Rin is a rash, angry person, and honestly, I don't blame them for not telling her. Rin wants action to fight Naja, Visera, and the experience. For spite, for vengeance, it's not fully for the people. The Monkey Warlord and others want to stay safe and keep their people safe. I don't believe that Rin cares about her people fully. She's using them for her own purpose. It's not always about the people when it comes to Rin. The Monkey Warlord does throw that in her face. Overall, she's embarrassed, and I'm embarrassed for her. Rin jumps into things before considering anything else. While in council, Rin keeps reminding them that Visera will crush them. But the council tells her that Visera doesn't want us. Visera wants you. They all want you. He wants her gone. The room goes quiet, and I love it because it's so true. Rin is public enemy number one at this moment. If he could bargain for a deal, it would be for Rin. And they know it. Everyone knows this. During this meeting, they learn that one of the counselors has died, and Rin is vouching for herself. She has the qualifications, she's ready. But the Monkey Warlord tells her that these men won't follow her, which is somewhat true because they don't know her. She has a good plan. Go to the south, get more supplies and people. She has the qualifications, but she's just not a likable character. Even in the eyes of the council. It sucks to say that because I hate the council. I hate men in like high positions of power. But I don't blame them for not wanting to follow her lead. She's not the best bet. Towards the end of the meeting, she does get some support from two people. And give her props for having the courage to go and fight. Good for her. That's what she needs. She needs backup. They end up calling her General, which is something that she wanted and was promised. And she likes it. She starts to get everything she wants. But I know that won't last long. And not because I listened to this before, but because there's been a pattern throughout the series. Rin is presenting her plan to Soji and others. And she is saying a lot of hoopla that kind of makes sense, but Soji stays behind and tells her that it's not going to work. He tells that to Kitai and Rin. He tells them that they are not creative enough. Syndergaard is a proper school, but doesn't compare to real experience. That's good. They need to know that. He also tells her that everyone wants her to fail, and they talk about her behind her back in a very man behavior way. She's not a likable character. I've been saying this since book one. She has no charisma, and you kind of need that to lead. You need to be likable and have somewhat of a charisma to lead. None of the South or South leaders know her, so why would they bet on her? Especially if she just was trailing behind Visera like a puppy. I do believe that Soji is telling the truth. I do think he's on her side. Maybe he's trying to put himself in a better light. It's up to the reader slash listener. I also like that he's like, just because you have synagogue training and have military experience doesn't mean you know everything or know enough. He puts them in their place, not necessarily a bad thing. Soji is doing an excellent job at proving that he has excellent men and he knows what he's doing and he's showing his experience. Rin is a difficult person to like because she doesn't like to listen to anyone besides herself and Kitai. She thinks she has the knowledge to get to a certain point, but she doesn't. So it's hard to listen to her be dismissive of everything Soji is trying to suggest. At this moment, she needs Soji. She needs others to help her to get things moving, and she knows this. She can learn from people. She can observe. So it's annoying when she snaps at Soji when he's trying to say something or do something right, and she's just snapping at him. Soji has a great move to have everyone climb up the trees to hide. Rin wants to fight and tells him, I'm not scared. And this is when the Muganese start coming through them. And they're hiding from the Muganese soldiers. Hiding is an excellent strategy. It's good, and she just needs to like shut up and learn. And the fact that she says we don't hide, we fight, it's just so arrogant of her to do and say, since she has fire and she can most likely protect herself. Rin does eventually concede to Soji's tactics, especially in the night when he talks about them scavenging. And I love this. They're starving and they have really bad food, and Soji comes along and is telling them, you gotta take what you find. In book 2, they were given new clothing, food to eat. Viceroy took care of his soldiers. And now in book 3, they have to eat what they have, and it's not good. I like that Soji is pointing out that you learn as you go versus what is given to you. When they get to a certain village, again, my pronunciation slash memory for these things are almost non-existent. I borrowed this book from the library, so I delayed my review because I really honestly didn't want to listen to book 3, but I'm enjoying myself a lot more than I thought I would. The second time around is actually a little bit more enjoyable than the first time, but names, pronunciations are not my forte, so I'm just gonna call this a certain village. Let's see. So again, apologies. But when they get to this certain village, they notice how amicable the village people are with the Muganese, where these people are able to walk around freely to a extent. While they meet with the chief, he tells them to go away. He doesn't want the trouble that they are going to cause. I have mixed feelings here. I understand what the chief is saying. They aren't exactly slaves, but they are prisoners. Considering the horrors that are happening around them, it feels like the lesser of two evils. Rin and Soji want to fight. They say that they're ready, we can do this, but it's hard to disrupt this semi-norm life. Rin does get a little feisty, but she remarks about being free. The chief looks at her and asks this question: do you know what they do to dark-skinned girls? I didn't catch this the first time, and he tells her that they burn these girls. They burn them alive because they resemble Rin. That is ridiculously sad. The guilt that would put on me, and I think also Rin, is just tremendous. And by the way, I have dark skin, so I feel you, Rin. Rin is the reason why the Muganese are still here. Instead of fighting to get rid of them, she did the opposite. She destroyed their island, so they have to stay now. This was a huge mistake. I keep saying that. And for her to say, I'll do it again in book 2, it's for her own benefit, not for the benefit of the people. The whole thing may not be her fault, but she did make it worse. Rin and Soji do get what they want, but Rin feels like it's not enough. Soji does chasten her a bit about needing the people because they can become your ears and eyes. If you fight for them, they become very loyal. Rin gets it, but it's important for her to get this because she feels self-sufficient, but she's really not. I do like that people are teaching her a lesson. It no longer feels like putting her in her place because she's starting to learn. Rin meets the chief's son, and he's one eager son of a gun to get the fight going, to free his people. He has a lot of things implemented already to help out Rin, and he's very excited to meet and see Rin. He's like, "You're the Spearly, you're the hope of the South." If I was in Rin's position, I would feel so anxious all the time to have all these people look at you with so much hope. The chief's son wants to fight and has others wanting to fight as well. But him wanting to fight means that he's willing to risk his own life. Rin knows the obvious answer to his eagerness to fight. He'll be easy bait, a easy shield for them. But Rin knows that if she uses this guy, it's all over. Goodbye, wolves. Goodbye, chief. He's important. The sons of leaders usually are. He's also important to Soji, so he's going to have to stay behind. I don't like his eagerness. A lot of these characters are young, but they want to fight, and whatever consequences come are worth it to them. Rin enters her tent, and she notices a letter, a very fancy letter. She immediately knows it's from the Yin family. When she opens the letter, she sees that it's poorly written and smudged, and she knows it's from Kasegi. Maybe because I'm getting older, but the way the audio book plays it, the way the voice is acted, it sounds so sad and very fragile and thin. So I feel really bad for Kasegi. He sadly explains to Rin that he's being held captive because of his own stupidity. Naja is telling her that this doesn't have to end in bloodshed. They don't want another war, which is ridiculous. And the audacity for him to say that. They just want Rin. This is just a tiny step towards her entering her paranoia state, mental state. She doesn't know who put it in her tent. Nobody knows. So who and how are they watching her? Someone is watching her. And the question is who? My heart was pounding. The mind games are starting to play here. I remember the first time I wasn't as excited as I am this time around. I do feel bad for Kasegi, but he is nothing compared to the bigger picture. In the rest of the letter, he tells her that their country is in chaos and he doesn't want that. And again, the audacity to say that. Whose fault is it? The fingers should be pointing everywhere. Where is the accountability in this book? He also says that he will not allow the foreigners to take over their country. He's not stupid and he wants Rin and Kitai by his side. How can we trust Naja? This letter means nothing to me, and I'm a Naja fangirl. They want Rin. There is no more fighting by each other's side. This letter also sounds like flattery, which the monkey warlord, Visera, has given her in the past. I'm glad that Rin knows this. She has her doubts. If Rin turns herself over to Naja and the experience, nothing good will come out of it for her. Or is she making a mistake again? Could she join up with Naja in the experience and possibly make it work? And there's also that other question of what if she joined Daji a lot sooner in the end of book 2? The possibilities are endless. Naja wants everyone to put their swords down, but unfortunately, Naja and Visera have done damage to Rin and Kitai, so peace is no longer an option. Rin and Kitai are discussing what to do with Naja's letter. They're also discussing whether or not it's legit. Is this Naja trying to get Rin and Kitai on their side where they can work together? Is he trying to find a middle ground? Again, I'm a Naja fangirl, but even I'm like, it's too late. At that time, he thought stabbing Rin in the back was the right thing to do. His father told him to capture Rin, and he did. Now that the South is starting to get traction, he wants to negotiate. Hurting Rin backfired, and now it's too late to apologize. I do believe in Naja, and I do think he wants them back as a team, as allies, and he is offering them to join their cause or to receive clemency. But there is the fine print that Naja is not disclosing, and that fine print is Rin. Second time listening to the audio, but it feels like a lot of information I missed the first time. Rin and the army are getting ready to attack the Muganese, but the Muganese get told about the attack and hold the village hostage. Before they can negotiate, the village people take matters into their own hands and decide to fight the Muganese. I will admit I was teary-eyed in this moment. I'm pretty sure it's age. This didn't happen the first time. These villagers show so much valor. They want their freedom. Despite what the chief says, they are going to fight for it, even if it costs their lives. I'm thinking about the older people who are probably giving up their lives for the younger generation so they can live freely. Soji tells Rin to go, and Rin knows that her fire destroys anyone and anything. No discrimination. So her fire is burning the soldiers and civilians, which they welcome with open arms, and my emotions are all over the place. Once the damage is done, Rin is thinking about numbers. It does make sense in battle. You lose a few thousand, you throw another 1,000. If people are willing to lose their lives, then who am I to say this is wrong? I don't like the whole number game in Rin's head, but again, who am I to say this is wrong? Rin thinks about a time when she was younger, and she used to like the sound of the sizzling when they would get rid of the ants, and she liked the power that she had over the ants, and she likes that power now, the power to burn people, to get rid of them. She's wondering what is wrong with her. People can mention that this is the Phoenix, but it just proves to me that Rin is just a cruel person. This is her. It's turning her. She's just senile. Or she's turning senile. And I'm glad she admits that. After destroying the beehive, the Muganese, without communication, things start to fall apart quite quickly, especially with the villagers taking a stand and fighting for themselves. So by the time Rin and her army come along, they see that villagers have already taken care of the Muganese in a torturous way. But the Muganese are not nice people, so I don't really feel sorry. Maybe not all of them deserve it, since I'm thinking about Daji, but definitely a lot of them do. Rin has a conversation with Soji talking about the people who were complicit in joining with the Muganese, and they are being treated much worse because they turned their backs to the south. Rin doesn't like it. She thinks it's wrong, but Soji tells her not to take this away from them because it could be something that they're healing from. It's such a gray area, what is right and what is wrong. There is no answer to that. Kitai is against these cruelties and wants order. He understands both sides. Some people were forced to do these jobs. Soji counters that by telling them about his sister being assaulted because she refused to be their informant. One thing is clear to me, and that the South value loyalty. For them, they rather choose their end than betray their own. And that's why the people who did betray them get a worse punishment than the Muganese. I'm more in line with Kitai here. It sucks because you think about the people who said no versus the people who said yes in helping the Moonies. I understand loyalty, but there's also self preservation, which Rin knows all about. Rin stays in the middle. She tends to do this. She doesn't declare her side and doesn't agree nor disagree. I do like that Kitai takes a stand and Soji take a stand. So they're marching forward and they stumble upon someone coming their way. And it's Venka, who has blown her cover out in Synagard and decided to meet up with them. Bryn and Kitai are asking questions. And I would like to point out that she's very quick to answer. It's interesting to hear her responses after listening to this the second time around. Bryn and Kitai really take her word and her information. She also talks about Naja and what he is doing and what's going on. It turns out that he's been spending time with the Asperians and he also doesn't look too good, which is interesting. What is he doing with the Asperians? Why doesn't he look good? It's all very interesting. They stumble upon two young girls being dragged along by an older woman. She is trying to sell them to Rin as prostitutes. Rin doesn't get it at first since the older woman tells her that I heard you were taking girls. Something like that. Rin is not having it. Absolutely not. I like how she mentions that the women who are signing up do it proudly. And these children are not. I also really love that Venka and Rin are fighting for female soldiers and their safety. If you hurt a woman, you get the consequences. When she asks the girls their name, one of them is called Pipaji. When Rin asks about the other girl's name, Pipaji gets defensive. I love Rin's response. You speak for her. Got it. I love it. I love these moments. I love this Rin here, where she understands quickly. Who else spoke for someone else? Chagan and Quara. I love it. I live for these small moments. It's just one sentence, but it has so much meaning behind it. They are making their way to Takani, and it's empty. Rin is thinking about her time here. A lot of people come out of their hiding spot, blinking into the sunlight. She allows them to touch her and approach her. She lets all of this happen because, in a way, it's her apologizing for leaving. It's sad to think that she never liked this place and she never really called it home until she comes back and now it feels like home. Rin being here in her hometown, she still longs to see her tutor and he's not there anymore. And she will probably never know what happened to him. This man believed in her, taught her, who really instilled a new path for her. He's gone and it really hurts Rin. It's a loss of her childhood that she didn't even like or maybe appreciated. One that she didn't even like. And maybe she appreciates it now coming back. Kitai tells her that you don't have to do this alone, but she still considers herself mud, so she doesn't let Kitai in. But she really needs someone to console her or just be a presence. Rin and Solji are in the general's office and Rin sees a note which shows pictures, letters from family members, as well as love letters. She thinks about how she truly hated her own people, how she wanted to be different from them. If Viceroy told her the legit plan, she could see herself easily joining him to whatever he wanted because she never really liked the South. She goes and visits the whorehouse where Venga is there telling a young girl to eat because she's not eating or she's refusing to eat. Venga, of course, has severe trauma from her time at Golden East. She wants to survive. She wants to live. And she wants others to fight and live as well. They need to be tough in order to survive. Rin tells her to act like a soldier. These moments are funny coming from her because she also had moments when she acted up, but this time it's her turn to be patient. Patient with her feelings, try to calm her down, just like Nasha had to calm her down. When Rin gets told that she's needed elsewhere, Venka angrily tells her to burn down the building or else she'll do it. Rin has this sentimental moment where she wants to pull Venka back and hold her. Very K drama like. Both of them need a good cry together. Venka and Rin don't do pettiness, which is so weird because what's wrong with consoling each other? It's very much needed for both of them. Rin heads over to the fields where they toss the bodies. A massive graveyard. Kittai is there saying you don't have to do this, you don't have to be here, but Rin has to be there. She does need to do this. When Rin tells Kittai that you don't have to be here, he says, we're bound. I feel your pain. It's my pain as well. Oh, Kittai. I have a little heart next to his name. He's such a wonderful character that steps up when he needs to. And he doesn't even do it on purpose. That's just naturally him. While at the field, they find a boy who managed to survive. And Rin puts it together that these are freshly made and they did it to hurt her. All these bodies are on her hands for being the Phoenix, the Spearly, for destroying the Longbow Island. She sears this image in her mind. She doesn't want to forget that people are suffering because of her. Before Rin leaves the field, she spots a young girl running away. Rin catches up and meets the aunt, to then meeting the Empress Daji. With her help, they managed to stay hidden from the Muganese and were surviving in the outskirts of town. She has been waiting for Rin. Rin immediately tells her to break the seal because it genuinely hurt her to have Kittai hurting because she's summoning up the fire. But Daji honestly doesn't know how to break it. She created the seal with Riga and Zhang because they were going to destroy each other and she didn't want to end up, unalive. Kittai is not happy to have the Empress in their sleeping quarters. It's quite funny when Daji makes a suggestion that they sleep together. They both recoil from this and it's hilarious. Kittai flinches while Rin is pending what she just said. I think this is the only thing I'll get to their relationship beyond being mentioned in this way. It's so unfair. And it's cute that they share quarters. They share the same room. I want more of their relationship. I would love it because there's something. I don't think I'm crazy. I think there is something between them. Honestly, it feels like without Naja, and if they did manage to be in a more calmer environment, I'm pretty sure they would have ended up together. I'm 100% sure. But anyways, Kittai is not happy that Daji is there. With good reason, since he does blame her for his father's death. But Rin really needs her knowledge, and Daji is giving it to them. She's saying that your plans are not good and you're going to lose. She does have this very withered old lady look, but who knows if she really looks like that since she can manipulate the mind. So it's interesting when Rin mentions her old lady act, it goes away when she starts talking about the plans. Daji explains to them that they are going to lose versus their modern technology. Rin can be easily taken out, just like the Sorkinsia. She suggests more shamans, not the shamans inside the mountain, new shamans. Now the world knows about real shamans existing. It should be easier to believe that a god can exist inside of you. Rin is considering the shaman army, and she also has some jealousy towards Daji because she wants to be her, which you can clearly see. She wants the elegance, the beauty. She wants that power of being an empress. Kitai is against the shaman army because he doesn't want that pain be inflicted onto other people, which I have been saying since book 2. Rin says, we turn out fine. It's okay. I'm functional. If other people want to be shamans, then they need to understand the pain and the consequences that come from it. She also, that's just my opinion. She also thinks about the psyche. There are 2 options, death or the mountain. When I think of this saying, I think about them going out in battle. And I think about Baji, Sumi, and Ramsa, where she thinks of their demise as them fulfilling this saying. But I disagree completely. I'm not letting go. She let them die. She is the reason why they are gone. This saying does not include them. I will go down with this ship. She is the reason why they left that world dishonorably. Kitai is very against creating new shamans. And I love that he's able to argue with Rin about this. He tells her that she's stuck on the Empress, you're drunk on conquering, and you want to inflict the same pain like you did with Naja. Thank you, Kitai. You push Naja to become a shaman, and look what that got you. A stab in the back the size of an island or something like that. Bravo, Kitai. I am cheering you on. I am clapping with happiness right now. And again, second time listening to it, but it feels like the first time I'm listening to this. Every time someone pushes her buttons where they hurt, she gets defensive, like anyone would. But she pushes buttons all the time. I hate that she can't take feedback at times. You can dish it, but you can't take it. Even though they're arguing, even without the bond, I still think they would stay together. So I'm not worried about this argument. I'm happy that Kitai puts her in her place. Kitai mentions that the pain the Phoenix gives him is worse than being at Golden Knees. And that is saying something. Rin shuts up because she knows that she never thinks. She just says these things without considering other people. When she does say, sorry, I wasn't thinking, Kitai says, you never do. Bam. Exactly. She needs to hear this. They go their separate ways for now to cool off. Rin is invited to go out and enjoy this festival that the town is throwing. These girls invite her, and it's very sweet. I do wish Rin had a lot more female friends, and they invite her to celebrate their liberation, and it's all about dancing and fireworks. She also remembers being a small girl and seeing these festivals. She would sit down and watch because only rich girls were able to have this celebration. They were happy and were allowed to marry someone they wanted. I really like the overall description of her sitting down and watching it through her POV. It's also a little sad because she's a wallflower and that's who she is, but I would love to see her dance and have a good time. But I know that's just not her. She also remembers the vision with the Spearleys and how that ended in tragedy, which this could be a foreshadowing moment. So she comes and brings her a drink. He tells her that this is it. This is as good as it's going to get. Rin has this moment where she thinks there has to be more. It can't be just this. She starts to think about the last time she felt safe, where nothing could hurt her, which we all have those moments. So far in this book, a lot of these small moments are hitting hard for this old lady, aka me, who is thinking about a time when I felt safe. I definitely understand what Rin is going through now. The last time she felt safe was at Synagard. It does kind of have this I peaked in high school vibe, but I know that's not what she meant. Her time in Synagard, all she had to do was study and pass. That was the biggest worry for her. So it's overall really sad to think that she misses being safe, and that was the only time she was safe. Rin starts to spiral, thinking about her safety and how she's never going to find it, or she has to fight for it. Her enemies are not going to stop until she's gone. Soji is there and gives her a comforting touch. He tells her to calm down and enjoy the moment. What you're fighting for is that, and he points at the people. He's right. Soji feels like a mentor, or this moment feels like a mentor moment, and he's just bringing her back down to earth. He's an interesting man in her life in this moment. Soji, unfortunately, does put the moves on Rin, and Rin does want to let loose. She's like, why not? But Rin knows that a woman going to bed with a man slash soldier, the man gets bragging rights, especially if you just slept with the Phoenix. She will most likely lose respect in the army, which is true. Soji calls her a virgin, and that really hits a spot with her. I don't understand why. They are still young, and there's no time for that. She has been running for a long time, so I don't know why that's such a soft spot for her. Soji also mentions her not being able to have children, which she gets taken back. How do you know? He makes a remark about having dark skinned babies, which is funny. But the important thing here are the rumors going around about her. The first time listening to this, I was very annoyed at her, wanting, because she's ready to fight, getting defensive. It's like, calm down, girly. But the second time around, I get it. I understand now, you know, Naja literally backstabbed her, so she doesn't trust a lot of people. And there are consequences for being a woman in the army. So I am on her side there. I do think Soji would understand if, she explained a few things. Don't sleep with him if you don't want to, first of all. And I would like, have a conversation with him. You can explain. You can talk it out. You don't need to put your fists up to start fighting. I still think she needs to just calm down. A lot can happen when you just talk. While they're having their argument, Rin hears a buzzing noise and the explosions start happening. These are the dirigibles that are attacking Tikani. They are attacking her home, and the audacity for them to do that. I love my hometown, and if I was the target and they burn my hometown, I would be pissed. So I'm angry for Rin here. She sees a soldier's legs get blown off. She thought she had more time, but nope. Naja was on her heels. She thought that she could have a minute to rest, but nope. The moment she got that letter, it feels like a warning now. It flat out showed her that they know where she is. Someone is spying on her, and whatever information Venka told them was not correct. It's a mystery who's spying on her. They are destroying the square. And of course, Rin wants to know where Kitai is. I do remember this next part, and I am so hyped because the dirigibles are landing. And I wonder who that can be.